Hello, everybody. We're happy to welcome you back to another day with Pastor Sunday here and my guest, Pastor Derek Schneider. Now, Pastor Derek, you've spoken to us about what you've seen in Ukraine and what made you to keep on coming back. Now, has your visit to Ukraine been a blessing in any way to you and to your ministry?
Oh, absolutely. Most of the changes or, increase of success with our ministry at home in Canada is a result of applying the principles taught here. Principles like the all-night prayer, seeking God sacrificially. We've seen young people start up, social programs and outreaches. I took your series on the Kingdom of God and preached it for 1 year, and we began to see young people begin to start programs outside of the local church. They began to see themselves as deliverers to their sphere. For example, we had the one UFC fighter who, laid down his platform there but still used his fame and started up a homeless program. He reaches homeless people and, we're seeing incredible things through that. The only problem I have now as a pastor, since applying these principles, is to make enough time to just help guide and coach all of these programs that are emerging. Once a group of people see themselves as deliverers to society, you can't stop them, because they discover why God gave them certain gifts, why the Lord has placed them in this sphere for such a time. They begin to see themselves as pastors. So now I see my job as just to equip them, help them discover their gifts, and propel them into society. We've seen incredible change. Even in the all-night prayer meetings, we'll see over 100 people gather to pray all night.
Canada.
This was unheard of, Pastor Sunday. It was unthinkable, and you had been instrumental in helping us. But I believe that if Ukrainians can pray all night, so can Canadians. And we took up the challenge, and I held a personal all-night prayer meeting that was horrible. It was so difficult. But pushed my way through, and at the end the Lord said, now you've broken through, and your people will be able to pray all night. Well, we set a date for the night prayer, and over 100 people showed up. And for 2 years now, we've been seeking God like Ukrainians, just, fiery prayer. And it's totally changed the dynamic of our church. Yeah.
And so apart from the fact that, you have been blessed, your ministry has been blessed, how was your life affected personally by your encounter with this move?
I had a reason for my Christianity other than just trying to get into heaven. I suddenly saw my purpose on earth. I saw myself as a resource of heaven. I understood what Jesus meant when he said, you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. For me personally, my prayer life changed. I hungered for the Lord in a greater way, and now had the boldness and the audacity to believe God for transformation in our region. I attribute my whole Christianity now to what I've experienced here in the revelation that you teach. I mean, I had grown up in the church. I had grown up in a kind of conservative environment. But when I came to hear you preach the first time, I felt I had heard the gospel for the first time. Because I had grown up with just the gospel of salvation, the redeeming of the man, his spirit. But now I was hearing the gospel of the kingdom of God, which was it opened up a whole world to me. And so now I'm seeing, okay, my Christianity has a purpose, and the members in my congregation have a purpose. They weren't saved just to come and hear me preach. I'm not that great of a preacher. They were saved to come and be equipped and to go out and preach, to go out and be God's representative in their sphere of influence.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have one incredible example of a young lady who, she was a cell group leader, and she wanted to lay down her cell group to go be active in her establishment. Well, I had a hard time letting her go because I was more church-minded, more egocentric at that time. But reluctantly I said, okay, go ahead, lay down your cell group, go and bring your ministry beyond the four walls of the church. She went out and did that, began to bring the kingdom principles that you teach and are taught here to her workplace. And 8 people got saved right at her work who now attend our church. I mean, this is the power of this thing, Pastor Sunday. I mean, if you want to see people saved, take the gospel out there. And you guys have developed structures, and by wisdom you're able to do it. You're teaching the world to do it.
Thank you so very much. Well, it's a pleasure listening to Pastor Derek, and I'm sure we're going to continue listening to him tomorrow. God bless.